Good morning. What's happening? Y'all, let me get this thing straight here. Oh, did that work? Okay. All right. Hey. All right. Why am I bothering y'all early this morning or whenever you choose, when you see this video? And no, yeah, I'm sweating. Sorry about that. We'll get my little walk on right now. But I'm not on here to start talking about how good a shape I've gotten myself in. And I know, because when I'm not in shape, I don't want to hear from nobody that is in shape. That's on me, right? I'll be preaching to me while I'm not in church, right? But I am on here to kind of talk about getting in shape, because something I've gone through something over the last few years that's pretty incredible for me. I'll tell you where I started. So before all of this got started, I was having chronic neck problems. Getting a crick in your neck or crook in your neck, however y'all, country folks say it. But my neck was constantly messed up and I couldn't turn my head left or right, and took days for it to clear up. I was getting pinched nerves in my neck to the point where my right arm would get so weak that the muscles would start atrophying, just wasting away, just disappearing. The muscle would just go away because it wasn't getting any blood supply or neural stimulation. Both my rotator cuffs were so bad that a lot of the times I couldn't even lift my arm over my head. My left shoulder got so bad that if I threw a tennis ball in the air and tried to catch it, when the tennis ball hit my hand, just the weight of that tennis ball hitting my hand felt like my left shoulder was about to explode. Terrible pain. Then my lower back was chronically in trouble. I heard it in college real bad, and it never really quite healed. And as I got older, it kept getting worse. It got to the point where just rolling over in bed or sitting up to get out of bed, laying in bed, sitting on the sofa, anything would just upset my back and it would go out, and then I'd be sleeping on the floor for a week trying to get it back straight. My right hip started locking up. Sit down for a while, go to get up, and my right hip didn't want to unbend. It just lock up, hurt, a lot of pain. My left knee, that bad boy would just get where, that was a weird one. I could run, I could jump, play basketball, but if I tried to just walk normally down a hill, that bad boy would be hurting like crazy. Couldn't even put no weight on it. So all this stuff kept happening. It was chronic, constant. And everybody was saying, well, you just getting old. I ain't scared. I just turned 60 a little while ago. But everybody kept saying, hey man, that's just a part of aging, and you got to expect that kind of stuff. Well, and here's the reason I'm on here. I started a program that over time, all of that stuff is gone. No more neck problems. Check out that shoulder. And look, I can put my arm behind my back. Couldn't do that before. Could not put my arm behind my back. My lower back, no problem. Knee is still act up every once in a while when I overdo it, but it's feeling better. All of that stuff is gone. And primarily, no surgeries, no medications, just me doing this program. And now I literally feel like I felt 20 years ago. Pain-free, all my mobility back. And honestly, I'm not in that great of shape. I used to be able to run for miles in the heat at a pretty quick pace. I ran track in college. I was a jumper in college, but I could still run pretty well. And running wasn't a problem, but that's not the kind of shape I'm in. Strength training. And to be more specific, something called hypertrophy. And it's a technique that bodybuilders use to put on muscle. And I started I got serious about it about 4 years ago. Oh yeah, by the way, this is not a quick fix, nothing, okay? Nothing about this is quick, and that's a good thing, because you're not gonna be in a hurry looking for fast results And that's exactly how you end up hurting yourself, trying to do things too quick, too much, too fast. This has nothing to do with that. So in essence, for me, the program broke up like this. It broke down to this main thing: seasons. Doing things in a season, not trying to work by any kind of clock or calendar, but when you're in a season, you're focusing on something, and then once you accomplish it, that season's over. But you gotta get to a set goal in order for you to go to the next season. So the seasons were, number one, I had to get consistent with my discipline. So believe it or not, the first season, all that was about was getting up at the time I said I was gonna get up to go work out, going to the gym, whether I felt like it or not, just get to the gym. Even though I went there with no intentions of doing anything, I wasn't gonna work out. I didn't feel like it. I was in a bad mood, whatever. Just go. Get to the gym, and then lo and behold, my brain would kick in and say, well, hell, you're here. Might as well do something. So I would, sorry about the lighting, sun I got behind me, but I would, because I was there, I actually would end up doing stuff, which was part of the original problem. You know, you'd be inconsistent with your workout. So season one, get consistent with dedicating that time and being there, and that was it. Season two, all right, I'm used to getting up. I now have a habit of when I get up and get to the gym, I actually do something. Okay, that's good. So now I can start focusing on, okay, what exercises do I want to do? And this is all about weightlifting. And now here's where the hypertrophy part really comes in. Hypertrophy is not about heavy weight. It's not about finding out your maximum bench press, squat, or deadlift. You're gonna do those things, but you're not trying to max out. And that's my problem. I used to lift weights a lot while I was running, but I was always trying to get super strong, and then I'd end up blowing out my back or hurting my knee or straining my shoulder or something crazy. And then I couldn't work out for a month, and then I would lose the discipline. So hypertrophy just says perfect the technique, meaning learn what the body is supposed to be doing, what position you're supposed to be in, where's the weight supposed to be positioned, how you're supposed to grip it, and go through the motion, go through the movement, and perfect the movement. So that was season two. Get in the gym, light weights. The weights were so light that when I finished working out, I was like, man, I didn't really do anything, but that wasn't important. I was just getting the techniques back, getting myself solid, right? Because the next part, season three, was about how much weight, how many reps, how many sets. But again, had nothing to do with trying to max out. I wasn't gonna put myself through any kind of stupid strain where I was gonna hurt something. So the weights, you were concentrating on doing weights that you could do anywhere from 12 to 30. Not 3 to 10, 12 to 30. So, you know, that's not a lot of weight. When you can do something 30 times, it's not gonna be anywhere near your max load. So you're not overloading your body. But a good rep meant that you did the exercise until you can't keep the proper form. Once your form starts to break down, that's your last rep. You stop. And so I've been doing it going on, I think I'm in year 4. And it has fixed all of those problems that I started out telling y'all about. Now, honestly, it fixed those problems as soon as I start putting on some muscle mass, because in a way, muscle is the shock absorber for the body. You get your muscle mass up and it'll kind of soften every step you take, every time you get bumped or you go to move. And also because I was doing a lot of stretching and mobility work, getting that movement in my joints back. Y'all, like I said, every time I went to the doctor, they wanted to do surgery on me. They wanted to put me on the operating table and cut me up. And I'm thinking about going into surgery. So I'd always put it off thinking, I'll find something else. And I did, luckily. And it's this hypertrophy stuff, y'all, I'm telling you. In these 4 years that I've been doing it, I actually gained weight because muscle is heavier than fat. And I'm not in my leanest shape. Anyway, I'm still carrying a percent of some fat around because I'm not actually, you know, dieting. I'm just eating, getting the calories, the proteins, and the carbs that I'm supposed to get. And I've gained 30 pounds, and most of it's muscle. And since gaining that muscle, my body feels way better. So what this is all about, I ain't trying to get nobody no advice. I ain't out here trying to tell y'all what to do. I'm telling you what has worked for me. And I would, if you want to look into it, I highly recommend it. I'm just showing you it works. It has worked for me. No pain. I'm moving. I'm lifting. And I'm about to start my 4th season, which is going to be to start incorporating some more of the running and jumping that I miss that. I like running and jumping and, you know, getting some movement. I'm about to start that back. And so that'll be my next season. And how these seasons work, like I said, it's not a calendar thing. It's about once you get to perfecting what that season is about. The discipline number 1 season. Season number 2, perfecting the movements. Season number 3, getting your performance parameters, you know, your sets and reps set up from a hypertrophy standpoint. And it works, y'all. It really does. All right, bye.